In our last episode, we showed you how to make a large standing crust, ready to receive whatever filling you desire. Today we're picking up where we left off and we're sharing with you a 1795 recipe for vegetable pie from Sarah Martin's cookbook, The New Experienced English Housekeeper. Thanks for watching. This vegetable pie would be served in the summer when vegetables are plentiful. A spring version of this same pie, you could use all the wild things that come up right away in the spring. The recipe we're using today calls for cabbage, cauliflower, onions, celery, and endive. If your endive is too bitter, then you can substitute spinach. In her cookbook, Sarah Martin routinely suggests boiling vegetables in milk and water. I believe she does this so that she can use this leftover broth as a richer base for other sauces later on. So in here I've got boiling or simmering a 50-50 mix of milk and water. I've chopped all our vegetables and I'm going to parboil them. I'm going to start off with our potatoes and our cauliflower since they take the longest to cook. We'll let these boil for about 5 minutes. Next we'll add some sliced onions, celery, and cabbage, and we'll let this boil for another 5 minutes. And finally we'll add our chopped endive, and we'll let this go for just a few more minutes. Our total cooking time has been about 15 minutes. It's time to take this off the fire, strain the vegetables out, and set them aside. We boiled all our vegetables together, so that's the way they're going to go into the pie. If you boil your vegetables separately, then you can layer them into the pie as the recipe suggests. Now for the coffin. Standing crusts in the time period weren't necessarily intended to be eaten. They were designed to serve as cooking vessels. Many times when it was done, the contents would be served up, and then the shell would later on be discarded or used as a thickening agent in soups and stews. In addition, especially with meat pies, the lid would be sealed to the body, a small hole would be cut in the top, and they would be baked. Once the pie was cool, they would pour in melted suet or clarified butter, seal that top back up, and they could use this standing crust as a storage vessel. These might be stored for 2 or 3 weeks in a cool pantry. The pie we're serving today is meant to be served up immediately. Let's get back to our vegetables. I'm going to season them with a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of mace, and a pinch of cayenne. Now this is ready for the oven. If you're baking this at home, I recommend 350 degrees. It'll probably take about an hour, but make sure to watch that crust. You don't want to burn it. While this is baking, we can work on our fricassee sauce. I'm starting off with butter, about the size of a very large chicken egg. I've dredged it in flour, and I'm going to put it in the pan here to brown this flour. To this, we're going to add 2 or 3 cups of our milk broth that we use to boil our vegetables. The butter and the flour are going to thicken this up into a creamy white fricassee sauce. We'll season this with a little salt, a little pepper, and maybe some sweet herbs. Okay, our pie is done. It's beautiful. We should be able to take off our lid here. It comes right off. Now we can pour in our white fricassee sauce. Let's give this a try. Wow, all those flavors go together wonderfully. All those different vegetables and the fricassee sauce. Very, very good flavors that all come together. The pie is beautiful. I think you're gonna love this.